Hello, this is Gail Polubiak, CEO and founder of Interview Academy, back with you for part 3 of our 5-part video series, Master the 5 Toughest Job Interview Questions. Last time, as you remember, we talked about what is your greatest weakness, and that question seems to be a hot one for a lot of people based on some of the emails that I got. Today, we're going to talk about what's your salary expectation, and wow, you talk about one that puts a fear of God in about anybody. Doesn't it seem like that's a no-win question? If you say too low, then you kind of screw yourself. If you say too much, then you might get yourself out of the job. It really is a tough one. But if you think about it like poker, and that's how I do, it's a strategic question. And so they're going to keep their cards close to the vest, and it behooves you to keep your cards close to the vest. Give them what they want, but without giving them too much. But before you can really think of this question and take advantage of the strategy involved here, what I would like you to do is encourage you to keep an open mind to the possibilities. Compensation is a means to an end. When this question is asked, it's typically discussed in a very exploratory time. So keep the ball rolling. There are countless ways to structure compensation. And at this stage, we're not at the negotiation time. And the main thing that I would love for you to take away from this is there is nothing to turn down until an offer is extended to you. During my 30 years as an executive recruiter, I think that this one concept alone led to my success over and above everything else. Because I was in the business of getting my people the best dollar. And I cannot tell you how many different scenarios played themselves out that were so different from the way they started, meaning when the company gave me their compensation guidelines, to where the offer was. It just blew my mind. And so that's what I want to help you understand is there is nothing to turn down until an offer is extended. See, when they asked this question in the beginning, really what they want to know is, do you have a clue? Do you know what your value is? They want to know, can they afford you as they look at it now? Budgets, when they start the interviewing process, seem to be a lot more rigid and less creative than when we get to the negotiation point. And right now in our economy, turnover is huge and they want to maintain employee retention. So they want to know, can they keep you once they get you? They don't want to be constantly looking over their shoulder wondering if some recruiter like me is going to pounce on you and steal you away for more money. So in order to know your value, you've got to do your research. Here are 6 rock-solid websites that can give you information on salary ranges for industry, position title, metropolitan area, years of experience, academic credentials, and the like. And I encourage that you use more than one at a time. Really do some checks and balances because sometimes they can deviate. But here's one that I think a lot of people misunderstand. Use the company's HR department. When you're in that initial phone interview, or maybe it's a face-to-face, or you're dealing with the recruiter, just find out what the range is from them. It's sort of like, think about going to a hotel. They're going to tell you the rack rate. The key is to try and negotiate a better deal, right? So HR can give you an idea of the range that this company is willing to pay. But please, as I said in the beginning, keep your mind open to the possibilities. Take this information with a grain of salt. That's all you should do at this stage. So one thing to remember is timing is everything. When we're dealing with compensation, this is a heavy leverage position. So you have no leverage early in. They have no leverage early in with you either. So just take some of this information with a grain of salt and play the entire game. Whatever happens in the early innings does not dictate how the game is going to be won at the end. So your answer really should try and divert as in the early stages. Try to focus on the position, culture, and fit. These are the primary aspects, and then at this stage, that's really what should take your priority. Then use the research and speak in ranges. If they push you, you can then refer to some of the research and suggest, well, for a position like this business analyst, as I understand in this industry with my years of experience and my academic credentials, these positions are typically paying between $100,000 and $125,000, and then get them to acknowledge their budgets by saying, does this fit in line with your budgets? Now that forces them to answer the question. It either is or it isn't. And of course, my all-time favorite way to end, ask another question. See, there's nothing to be won by just sitting here waiting for them to drill you down a little bit further into it and be more specific. Or what did you make last year? What was this? It's not the time. So ask another question. And I want to give you an example of how to answer this by saying, well, I assume I'll be paid in parity with my peers. At this point, I'm actually more interested in learning about the position and seeing if we're a good fit than taking your paycheck. So help me understand a little bit more about some of your key initiatives this year. There's your pivot. So the beginning is, you assume you're going to be paid in parity with your peers. Does that say anything? Absolutely not. Push comes to shove, then you can go back to your research and say, as I've done some research, it seems as though most of the people in this industry with this many years of experience and these academic credentials in this metropolitan area should be between $100,000 and $125,000. Does that fit within your range? Then you've answered the question. And then you say, again, you have to keep going back to the reason you're there is I'm more interested in learning about the position and our fit than merely taking your paycheck. Believe me, managers love that. The next step is to get off of the question by asking another question, digging deeper into the position, culture, and fit. Find out what those key initiatives are for the next year. Whatever you need to do, but just get back into what's most important at this stage, the job. So to summarize, if there's nothing else that you take away from this is understanding there's nothing to turn down until an offer is extended. There are so many different possibilities that can bear out. Let me share one with you. I had a position when I was brand new in this business as an executive recruiter, and I had a candidate in for a position that the VP of sales told me was going to pay between $60,000 and $75,000. And they were quite rigid on that pay scale. Well, being a rookie recruiter, I put somebody in, we went through the process, and at the time the offer was extended at $75,000, my candidate turned it down. He wanted $105,000. So far out of the pay grade, it wasn't even funny. But luckily, I had a manager who helped negotiate through this process, and would you believe that this individual walked away with an offer of $110,000. So that blew my eyes wide open to the possibilities and realizing it ain't over till the fat lady sings. And that is exactly what you need to keep in mind. So always remember, there's nothing to turn down until an offer is extended. So thank you again. I appreciate it. Now I want you to know there's going to be a special bonus toward the end of the fourth video. So you're really going to want to be there. And I will tell you, the question we're going to cover next time will set the stage and have you take control of the complete interview. So you really want to keep your eyes open for the fourth video. So thank you. Share this with your friends. If you think anybody else can use it, I welcome them to join the party. In the meantime, know the future is bright and the possibilities are endless. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.